Good morning, everybody. This is Spencer Michaud here at the Great Lakes Astrology Conference 2019. And I'm sitting here with my good friend, teacher, and mentor, Mr. Adam Elenbaas. Welcome, Adam.
Hey.
And we are on day, what is it, day 3 here?
Yeah.
We're on day 3, so we're a little punchy. We've been going through the mill of being cancers at an astrology conference.
Yep.
And being introverts.
That's right.
So our tank's a little bit low.
Tank's a little empty, but it's all good.
And we've been, but it's good. We've had a good time so far, and we've gone through. We've got some stories.
Definitely.
So how's your experience been so far, Adam?
Where to start? No, it's been good. I mean, just in terms of like the astrology conference itself has been great. There's been I've enjoyed teaching my classes, and it's more intimate vibe.
Right.
I hope that this conference grows, but not crazy, because I think there needs to be more conferences about this size.
Sure. Because
it creates more. I mean, you just get to know people better.
Yeah.
And there's more time for questions, getting to know astrologers, getting to know students, hanging out with each other. Feels a little bit more like family vibe.
Absolutely.
So that's my favorite part about it so far. But I'll wait. I'll wait to. Do you want me to tell you?
Well, so just some background. I got a phone call. Well, I missed a phone call from my good friend here because I had my phone on airplane mode from Adam. In the ER.
Thursday night, Friday morning, late Thursday night.
So let's tell us a little bit about that. So first of all, tell us for the astrologers out there, what is the astrology transit that you're going through right now?
Saturn and Pluto are opposite to my sun. Almost exactly. Yeah. And on my birthday, there's a lunar eclipse this year on my birthday.
Right.
I was born under a lunar eclipse, and the lunar eclipse that I was born under is the one that's returning. So it's a pretty big moment in my life, astrologically speaking. I was anticipating maybe something health-wise coming up because we're dealing with the light.
Right.
The lights get hit, your body can take a toll on your body. So at about 3 a.m. Friday, I woke up with just excruciating pain in my lower back. I managed to like roll out of my bed. I thought like maybe my appendix burst or something. And it turns out that I had a kidney stone. So I somehow managed to like get down to the front desk. I called everybody trying to get help.
Right.
Because I was really freaked out. I didn't know what was happening. I thought maybe I was going to die. And
for the second time in a month.
Right.
Right.
Another near-death experience.
Right.
And no one was answering because everyone's asleep, obviously, at 3 a.m. So I made my way to the front desk, and this guy comes out and he was like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, just doubled over. I mean, I just looked crazy.
Right.
And he was like, "Sir, I think you're passing a kidney stone."
You've seen this look before.
I was
folks.
like, here's what he said. He said, "My daughter last night passed too."
Oh, wow.
In the hospital.
Yeah.
He said, he was blown away by it. So anyway, he got the ambulance because the taxi would have been an hour.
Right.
So he got an ambulance, took me to St. Joe's Hospital, and they gave me morphine right away, and then did some tests and found a pretty small, all things considered, pretty small kidney stone that I was passing, and not big enough to do any kind of procedure on. You have to pass this on your own. Yep. They waited until my pain came down a bit, became a little bit more manageable, and then sent me back here with painkillers and anti-nausea medicine, and said you're just gonna have to pass the stone in the next probably day or so.
The most Saturnian thing ever.
Yeah, so it's like
you're gonna have to pass the stone.
You're gonna have to pass the stone. So literally, and I thought, how many times I've said this a few times already, but how many times have I said to people, Saturn Sun transits are like a creative crystallization.
Right.
And so it was very literal in my case, but it was like the most excruciating pain next to breaking my arm that I've ever felt in my life. And I got back here in the morning. I thought it had passed. About 4 or 5 hours later, I thought it had passed because I was feeling better.
Well, I got your message at like 6:30 in the morning.
6:30, yeah,
you came up, and I'm like, oh my God, are you okay?
And then by that time, it was starting to come down a bit. And then I came back to the hotel. I thought I was feeling better, so I taught my class
at 9:30.
At 9:30, and then
This is when you have an exalted Saturn, folks.
Exalted Saturn. Exalted Saturn in the 6th house. I'll
Right.
just work until
And a Capricorn moon.
I will work until stones come out of me.
Right, exactly.
So
this is your superhero right here. Okay.
Yeah. Super foolish. So anyway, the pain started coming on again right afterward.
Yeah.
So then I went back up to my room and was in the fetal position for like 6 more hours yesterday afternoon. And then finally last night felt better again. So I came down, said hello to people, hung out for a bit, went to bed, slept all night, no pain, taught this morning, no pain. So hopefully it passed. They said it's small enough that you probably won't feel it even when it passes. But when it's going down, it's like a piece of glass basically coming out of you. So
I can only imagine.
The way that I would describe it is that it felt as though it felt like contractions. It was very Saturnine, because I guess there's some part of the kidney that literally contracts. That's part of how it brings things down, filters things. But the other thing it felt like is if you have a pinched nerve, a really bad one, and someone's pressing their finger on it, won't take it off.
Yeah.
And it was so painful, in fact, that yesterday afternoon, like I was continually just vomiting from the pain. It was that bad. So, and then, it finally went away. But thankfully, the other thing was that my mom doesn't live far from here.
Yeah, your mom came.
My mom, so my mom came. Yeah.
The
So
most Cancerian thing ever. My mom's
coming. So my mom came, and she's a nurse practitioner.
Right.
Scorpio sun in the 12th, worked in an ICU for a lot of her life. So, she was definitely helping me kind of go through it all.
Well, and I would imagine, Adam, this is why you don't take internet advice on health matters, because his mom is a nurse. Okay. Like he's going to be calling his mom. All right.
Yeah.
So don't even bother with your like dietary stuff in the comments.
Yeah.
His mom's got it.
Yeah. That's the thing, is that the thing about sharing this, that I've already been like, well, of course I'm going to share it with people because it's a really interesting astrology story. And I love that. But yeah, there's always these people on YouTube who, as soon as you have anything wrong, they're like doctors, you know what I mean? And
WebMD.
They think, they're like, they think that you're just dumb and that you aren't taking care of yourself, or that you don't know. And it always is like my least favorite thing to deal with when sharing personal stuff about my health. And I can tell you that, with my wife as an herbalist and my mom as a nurse practitioner, I get it from both sides all the time. So
he's just probably tired of hearing it. I think that's what it is.
Thank you for your concern. I am okay. I may have more rock babies to create, but hopefully with some dietary changes.
Lay off the spinach, man. It's like you'll be okay.
That's what they said. I'm a vegetarian. I don't drink. So they were like, what do you think is causing it? And we went through some of the things that are sometimes very problematic in vegetarians' diets. And I have a lot of those in my diet. Sure. So yeah.
Okay. Well, you made it. I'm glad you're still with us. Yeah. And you're still kicking. How did the talks go? You had one this morning too.
Second talk was better. Yesterday I was high as heck on morphine. Yeah. And I could barely read my slides for the first like 15 or 20 minutes. And then once I got past,
it's like it was in Greek or something.
It wasn't. It's like it was in Greek. It was, the first slides were all about Greek, and I just, my mind couldn't hang with that material. And so once I got past that to the more practical portion of yesterday's talk, it was fine. Today's talk was a lot better. Yeah.
And what were some of the topics that you were speaking on?
Yeah, yesterday I gave a talk on planetary applications and separations and how they're used in a more divinatory predictive sense. Right. And then today I talked about annual perfections, Time Lords in general, and using transits with Time Lords.
Perfect. Chronocrators.
Chronocrators. Yep.
Chronocrators. Okay. Yeah.
Could be chronocrators.
Chronocrators.
Chronocrator.
Chronostoners.
Yeah, that's right.
That was you. Anyway, we're a little punchy today. Sorry, folks.
Lacking sleep.
Yeah. Okay. So you're through your talks. You've got some classes coming. I've seen you. I've observed Adam this week talking to students that are in his classes, prospective students. I witnessed an act of charity last night. I'm going to give you credit for that, even though it might be embarrassing for you.
Oh boy, yeah.
But I think it's a great story. There was a student here that is you have a scholarship.
She's a scholarship for my program.
Scholarship recipient, and she was having trouble with finding a hotel room. And I witnessed Adam take her out in the hall, and in some way I was talking to someone. I'm like, I bet he's getting her a hotel room. And sure enough, when he came back, he's like, yeah, I was getting her a hotel room and like donates. Tell me a little bit more about your Kickstarter that you've put aside for that.
Yeah. So every year I raise money. do a fundraiser to
Yeah.
support all the content that I create. And, you know, my readers, viewers, clients are really generous and pitching in and donating. And a certain portion of that I set aside basically to help people with scholarships to my programs and with things like buying books or buying software for my programs. And occasionally I just use it in a more discretionary manner. I just, if someone like this student is on a scholarship who came here as a volunteer and there wasn't a lot of foresight around it to make sure she had a room.
Right.
And she got here and the rooms were sold out here as well. So I just last night just helped her and used some of that scholarship money to get her a room.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that I think it's for.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, I don't like to broadcast or anything. But,
I was really impressed by that, and I thought that that was very instructive to me as far as the generosity and paying it forward. And that was one of the things that attracted me. I'm a student of Adam's. I've been in his year 1 and year 2 and soon to be in his Horary program. That's one of the things that attracted me to your program in particular, is I could tell that you had a genuine care for the people that you work with and been continually impressed with your ability to be giving in that fashion. So applaud you on that. And I want people to know about that and the type of character that you're dealing with here with
you.
Adam. So
that's nice. Thank you.
So what's next, Adam?
Boy, I've got 3 more horoscopes to do for Astrograph. They're due today. I got to go write those.
You've been working nonstop through the kidney
stone.
stone.
Yeah, I wrote 3 horoscopes somehow during the middle of the kidney stone thing yesterday too. When the contractions, the waves would let up, sometimes for half an hour or so, I try to knock out a horoscope because I'm trying to get these done in time for the July 1st deadline.
That's hardcore, man. That's hardcore.
It is hardcore. You know what? The thing is that I will tell people this. It's not like I was sitting there biting a stick.
Right.
It would literally be as though suddenly I felt fine.
Yeah.
Like nothing at all was wrong. And so then I would be like, oh, I can teach, or I can write a horoscope, or I can get some work done. And that's what my MO is like at home. Like I'm trying to, with kids and everything, I'm used to kind of
in between the temper tantrums,
wherever I can sneak in some work. Like that's how I have to do it with kids. So, I mean, that wasn't anything really different for me. But it would be crazy that after I get a horoscope written, I might say, maybe I'll start on another one. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, give me the stick. Now I really am screwed. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got a class coming up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Horary Astrology Class that starts on July 10th.
Yep.
It's a 1-year like practice forum workshop style dive into Horary. Right. So you're learning Horary, but you're more than you're learning it in a theoretical sense with theoretical lectures, you're practicing it. So
just for our astrology newbies out there, tell us a little bit about what Horary is.
Right. So Horary astrology is arguably the youngest branch of astrology. Right. It comes about during, say, the medieval era. Persian, Arabic, Indian astrologers seem to be the ones really taking it to the level of its biggest level of popularity anyway. And it features a chart being cast for the moment that a question is asked. Right. And the question is generally a specific outcome-oriented question, such as, will he ask me out? Or will I get the job? Or sometimes missing objects too. Where is my missing wallet? Or whatever. So it's a very magical form of horary, and I think it does something very special for people who mainly focus on natal charts. Mm-hmm. It takes you into a different way of experiencing astrology that when you bring those experiences back into natal astrology is incredibly exciting and positive. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Where can we find out more information?
Nightlightastrology.com.
Okay.
Nightlight, not some people say nightlife like it's a dance club. It's not.
I like that.
Yeah, exactly. Nightlightastrology.com.
Although you were enjoying a little bit of the nightlife last night when we were playing.
I played some Cards Against Humanity with you guys. That was fun.
Right? With the astrology like breakout pack that we created as a group.
Astrology breakout
so we had
pack.
Astrology blank cards that we added into the game, and it was a lot of fun.
My favorite one was I think the first card was something like if your solar return, you're discussing your solar return and with an astrologer, and it could go well so long as, and it was something like that. And then the card that won was like, as long as it's a nice Capricorn
Yeah.
or something like that. You know, it's like,
There you go.
it's all of, yeah, it's really
We
funny.
put a bunch of Sabian symbols in there. Like I think the first winner was Sagittarius, 25, a chubby boy on a hobby horse.
Yeah, there
That's
you go.
one of my favorite ones there.
Yep.
So yeah, we had a good time. So Nightlight Astrology, and you can maybe eventually come to a conference and you can experience the nightlife
That's
with
right.
your teacher.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, you know, the other thing that I was thinking about with the Sabian symbols is that it would really be cool at an astrological conference sometime to have more like of a theater night.
Right.
And if we could have like, if let's say if we had like one sign and we took all the Sabian symbols for one sign, 30 of them,
Yeah.
and had 30 participants in elaborate, basically costumes
I love it.
or stage installation art.
Right.
And then put it up and let people just wander through the Sabian
interpretive
symbols.
dance.
Yeah, an interpretive, like a Sabian symbol forest that you can walk through.
Well, no, that's a good point though, and not to drag this out anymore. But we've been talking about astrology being an interaction between the deities in the cosmic courtroom, and when we have these astro dramas, it really speaks to that and gives a physical representation of what's going on in the sky.
Right.
And I think more of that being incorporated into it, where you can kind of see the conversation between deities, would really hammer that point home.
That's right. Plus, astrologers are all so tightly wound that, you know,
have some fun.
Yeah, like we're all pretty crazy actually.
And in our heads.
That's right.
So we get in our bodies, right?
Yeah. So, and you know, I mean, everyone knows that, you know, astrologers are just all ready to just burst out into interpretive dance anyway. We're all just like locked up inside.
Sure.
So.
Well,
I don't dance. I birth stones. Damn it.
This is Adam's idea of a good time, is passing a stone in his hotel room. I'm going to give birth to
a stone and do horoscopes in between pain waves.
Oh man. Tell us how you really feel.
I'm excited to hang out again tonight.
Yeah, man, it's fun. We got the banquet tonight. You got the Did you get the vegetarian option here?
I did. Yeah.
All right.
I've got a vegetarian option.
There you go. We're gonna party in the banquet hall.
Right on.
Okay. Well, this has been Adam Elenbaas from Nightlight Astrology, coming at you from the Great Lakes Astrology Conference 2019. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you soon.